UFC 299 is this weekend, and it's a stacked card, and we're going to go over all of our predictions, deep diving into the main event, and then going over the main card predictions. And we're obviously going to start with the main event, which honestly we went over in a video. It's kind of weak, but it's a great card, which is Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera. And for me, I think Sean O'Malley is going to win this one.
I also think Sean O'Malley will win. I definitely think it will be very competitive because we've seen that Chito Vera, I don't think he's ever been finished before. It's going to be very, very hard to finish. And Chito Vera was having success in that first fight. Although a lot of people will say that Sean O'Malley was getting the better of him, he obviously did have a lot of success, especially with the leg kicks, but Sean O'Malley will be ready for it. But it all comes down to the fact that I believe Sean O'Malley is just a higher level fighter. There's a reason, even though I believe Sean O'Malley lost to Petr Yan, there's a reason why he ended up actually getting up to the title shot versus Chito Vera, who is getting a title shot off of beating Pedro Munoz and also getting smoked by Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah, Marlon Chito Vera has shown that he's got a crazy chin, so it's going to be hard to finish. So seeing Sean O'Malley, who's never been, I don't even think, past the third round before, will be interesting. Marlon went through 5 rounds with Corey Sandhagen, but he got whooped, which was pretty obvious. But I don't see Marlon landing anything crazy on Sean O'Malley. If there's someone who can knock out Marlon Chito Vera, it's going to be Sean O'Malley. They both had fights against Pedro Munoz, which were both pretty uneventful. With O'Malley, Pedro Munoz didn't even land a head strike to O'Malley, which was just leg kicks. And it'll be interesting to see how the leg kick battle happens. They both can switch stance. I feel like O'Malley at this point does like fighting more southpaw, with orthodox having his power shots in there. But I just don't see Chito Vera giving O'Malley any difficulties. I think someone like Petr Yan, who has really good boxing, would give O'Malley issues. I think that a kickboxer, a very big kicker like Chito Vera, unless he's able to win the leg kick battle, I think we'll struggle with O'Malley. And I think O'Malley is superior with his kicks, especially with the leg kicks. But that one is close. But the boxing, I think O'Malley definitely takes that one.
And then when it comes to a decision, Chito Vera is known for starting slow. I don't see him finishing Sean O'Malley, although we haven't seen Sean O'Malley go to the 5th round, especially against a guy like Chito Vera, where he obviously got tired against, Moutinho, I think, or Chris Moutinho?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because he kept freaking cracking him and he just would not go down. So we'll have to see how O'Malley does in a 5-round fight. But Chito Vera always goes down early, especially in the first or second round. He always tends to start really slow. And in a 5-round fight like that, where it could easily go to decision, I just can't see him winning.
Yeah, and Chito Vera seems to do good against high-volume strikers. But with Sandhagen, who's able to mix in the takedowns, it did make it a little bit trickier for him. But O'Malley and Chito seem to be better counter-striking, and I think it's going to be a very slow fight. I honestly don't think it's going to end up being that entertaining. I think a lot of people think striker versus striker, but these are two counter-strikers, which are going to kind of cancel each other out. So I don't think it's going to be a very entertaining fight, but hopefully I'm wrong. But I think O'Malley is going to edge a decision, but just like a boring decision, not a statement win. And I think at the end of it, we're going to see O'Malley, I think a lot of people, the general people, are going to see O'Malley for who he is, which isn't a big star. But yeah, we did go over that in a separate video. But now going into the co-main event, which is Dustin Poirier versus Saint Denis. I've changed a little bit, but ultimately I'm going to be going for the underdog here, which, believe it or not, isn't Saint Denis, it's actually Dustin Poirier.
I'm going to be disagreeing with you here. I think Benoit Saint Denis is going to win. I just think right now it looks like the end of Poirier's career. He just looks like he's on a downslide here, losing to Justin Gaethje. I feel like he was losing convincingly to Justin Gaethje, as well as losing to Charles Oliveira, who was actually contending with him a lot on the feet and ended up submitting him. In my opinion, he's lost a couple fights. He's had those big fights. He's had his chances. And those McGregor wins, how good was McGregor really? We don't know. And those were his most recent wins, besides Michael Chandler. And speaking of the Michael Chandler fight, that fight, Dustin Poirier did not look very good. You look at what Oliveira did to Chandler, and you look at what Gaethje did to Chandler, and then you look at what Poirier did, and the only reason why Poirier even beat Chandler was because Chandler was an idiot and threw him down on the ground rather than placing him, losing position, and then getting submitted. In my opinion, he's just not that high level of a fighter anymore, and I see Benoit Saint Denis as the new generation of the lightweight division, beating him, and so we can finally get some new contenders because we had Poirier and Gaethje up there at the top for a long time.
Well, I disagree with you because he really does not rate Poirier. He thinks he's an overrated fighter. But Poirier is very good against southpaws, and a lot of his weapons, a lot of people don't know, he is a lead hand strong fighter. So he's right-handed as a southpaw. And he showed against McGregor, he's shown in his career, he's very good against southpaws. However, I feel like the leg kick is going to be there. When he fought Jim Miller ages ago, Jim Miller absolutely killed his leg. But a lot of Saint Denis' big weapons, his kicks, his body kicks, his high kicks aren't going to be there against Poirier, who is a southpaw. Who knows if Saint Denis is going to be able to wrestle with Poirier and really get him down there. If Chandler can control you, he can. I feel like that's the best way for Saint Denis to win the fight. It's going to be the leg kicks, and with the body kicks and head kicks not being there, I feel like a lot of the weapons are lost. While Poirier, a lot of his strong weapons are going to be there, which is going to be the jab and the hook.
Well, Saint Denis never fought a southpaw, so we don't know if he's good against them or not, or if he has good weapons against them or not. But I think it's going to be an interesting fight to see how it goes, especially because Poirier has been at the top for so long. My thing with Poirier was when he lost to Gaethje, he said that he thinks he didn't beat someone who was better than him, and I feel like Gaethje showed he was clearly better than him. And I just think that right now it's time for the new generation of lightweights. And Poirier's been around for a while, but I think it might be his time. But I definitely think it will be a competitive fight.
With Ian Gary, I said the same thing about the Jeff Neal fight. We hadn't seen Ian Gary other than Daniel Rodriguez against a southpaw. And I was like, Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal. I was like, if you guys can look back at it, I was like, he's fighting a southpaw, which is going to take away a big weapon of his, which is the leg kick, which resulted in Jeff Neal and Ian Gary being a very slow fight and Ian Gary not being as dominant as we used to see him. So even though you can see that a southpaw might be a little, we haven't seen him against somebody, so he has different weapons there, I can see a fight where Saint Denis is a little off and doesn't have a lot of his strong weapons against Poirier, which could throw him off. But if Saint Denis is able to land the leg kick at will, he can win the fight, but I think Poirier's boxing is going to be the difference.
All right, and up to the next fight, the featured bout,
Kevin Holland versus Michael Page. Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page. I'm actually going for the underdog here again with Michael Venom Page.
Yeah, I'm going for Michael Venom Page as well. Kevin Holland sometimes it just doesn't even seem like he wants to win. He seems like he'd rather put on a show. Michael Venom Page has fought those high-level fights. Kevin Holland coming off a loss. I don't see how Kevin Holland beats him.
Yeah, we talked about this when Alex Pereira was coming up on the scene. When you're very good at one skill of martial arts, it always gives you a shot. I think that Kevin Holland does have a coping mechanism that he isn't a champion level fighter, that he'll strike with strikers, and he did that against an old Stephen Thompson. And I get Michael Venom Page is 36, but he's going to be a superior kickboxer, and I think Holland's going to fight him with that mentality. And Michael Venom Page is also someone who matches Kevin Holland in terms of size and reach. Kevin Holland's not used to that. When he fought Jack Della Maddalena, who's shorter than him, he got outboxed in that fight. And I think with Michael Venom Page, we're going to see something that's different, and Kevin Holland's is going to see something different with a more lanky guy. And going into the fight, I like to look at mindsets. Michael Venom Page is ecstatic about this fight.
Yeah, motivated.
And he seems also that he's so confident in his kickboxing and his skills. And he just doesn't see a way Kevin Holland beats him. And I don't think Kevin Holland is going to grapple unless he's in absolute trouble. And I think that Michael Venom Page, his weird striking, which Kevin Holland struggled with against Stephen Thompson, is going to be a very similar factor, except Michael Venom Page has more tools to finish the fight, like his knees and just more power overall. And I think we're going to see him use those. I don't think he'll finish him, but I think he'll hurt Kevin Holland and end up taking the win.
And, Michael Venom Page seems to have a mentality where he does want to go for the belt, while Kevin Holland has even said that he doesn't really want the belt. So I think that you'll see the difference in mentality in the fight.
Yep. Now moving on to the fourth fight of the card, Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. I've been back and forth, but I'm going to pick Jack Della Maddalena to win this one.
I will as well.
So for me, Jack Della Maddalena showed against Kevin Holland. He's got good boxing. Gilbert Burns, he's obviously toward the latter end of his career. For me, I don't see him being able to take him down, Jack Della Maddalena down. And I get that Gilbert Burns at a good gym with a good striking coach, but he is very one-dimensional with his striking. He's got an overhand right, and that's pretty much it. His jab isn't crazy, and he's got a left hook. You have to give him some respect because he knocked out Damian Maia with the left hook, but honestly, on most occasions, he doesn't even have a left hook. It's just overhand right, maybe a straight right against a crap fighter like Jorge Masvidal, but that's all he's got. Well, Jack Della Maddalena is more of a reactive fighter. He'll hit you with combos because he'll see patterns. He'll set traps. He'll have counters based off the patterns you're giving him. He's just a more skilled striker, and I think that'll be the difference.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to Gilbert Burns being able to get the takedown, but it's the same reason for me why I believe that Dustin Poirier is going to lose. I think that Gilbert Burns is kind of past that prime of his career, and it seems like Jack is the next generation of welterweights. You know, we seem to be getting a lot of next-gen welterweights. You know, we got Ian Gary, even though he pretty much ran from Jeff Neal. The whole entire fight, he did end up winning the fight. Shavkat Rakhmonov, I guess you could say Bilal is definitely a little bit older, but this seems like the next generation of the welterweight. And Jack Della Maddalena has been on a crazy win streak. He's going to have that confidence. Gilbert Burns coming off a loss, and he's definitely a way better striker. I agree with my brother Mario here that Gilbert Burns just seems to be a one-dimensional striker, and I just don't see him being able to take him down and hold him there.
I agree. So now moving on to the last fight of the main card, which is Petr Yan versus Yadong Song, and I think that Petr Yan is actually going to win. So I'm going for, I think it's 3 underdogs, 3 out of the 5.
I think I think Petr Yan's going to win as well.
Yep. Obviously, Petr Yan is going on a little bit of a downward spiral, but Song Yadong, in my opinion, didn't look that good against Chris Gutierrez. And Song Yadong is a very big boxer. I still would give the edge to Petr Yan in the boxing, but Song Yadong has a very good leg kick. But if O'Malley couldn't use the leg kick against Petr Yan, I don't see Song Yadong being able to do it with O'Malley being more rangy. And Petr Yan, with his boxing is very good. And if you've seen Song Yadong fight, the guy fucking just goes crazy when someone shoots a takedown.
Yeah.
He's absolutely sprawled. I expect to see Petr Yan using a little bit of grappling because Song Yadong just goes fucking nuts when someone shoots a takedown on him. He'll use that to set up strikes. I think the kickboxing is going to be a big factor here. Song Yadong fought Chris Gutierrez, who does like a variety of strikes, very like fancy kickboxing, but not powerful shots. Like Petr Yan uses his kickboxing powerfully. And Petr Yan is 2 all around. Song Yadong's got good boxing. He has okay grappling, but I don't even give him the edge in grappling over Petr Yan. And Petr Yan's been there, done that. He's in his prime, which people forget to think about. And I just think that Petr Yan's going to end up winning this one.
Yeah, you know, Song Yadong and both Petr Yan are heavy boxers, and I just don't see how you beat Petr Yan in a boxing fight. That's my analysis for this fight is very simple. I don't see how you beat Petr Yan in a pure boxing fight. You know, Sean O'Malley beat Petr Yan. That was a kickboxing fight, and I think Yan clearly won.
Yeah.
Then when it came to Merab and Aljo, obviously Yan was winning that first fight until Aljo need him, or no, he need Aljo, and then Aljo threatens the takedown, which obviously is going to affect Petr Yan a lot, and then Merab didn't even get most of his takedowns. He had the record for most attempted takedowns, not takedowns completed.
I don't know anybody who beats Merab that day. Imagine if you're a kickboxer and you fought someone who would just not stop shooting.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so it had nothing to do with the fact that Petr Yan got outstruck. It was the threat of the takedown, and Song Yadong, I don't see him putting that threat on Petr Yan, so I see Petr Yan winning because I don't see him losing a boxing fight.
Yeah, but I think so too. So those are all our main card predictions, but obviously you guys care, I think, on this card mostly for the top 2 fights, which we actually disagreed on one, which is one of the few times we've actually done that. So I'm doing O'Malley and Poirier. Obviously, he's doing the same, but with Saint Denis for the co-main. Let us know what you guys think about all our predictions because we're going for a lot of underdogs here. And we'll see you guys after the fights.